The Guardian newspaper wanted to find out, for successful companies, what makes the CEO happiest? And they asked him that question. The answer was a little surprising because what they came back with as their number one answer was customers who appreciate what we do. It's interesting because it's not just about product. It's really about all those things that wrap themselves around the product. Things like the friendliness and helpfulness of the service people, the relationship with the salesperson, the responsiveness of the support team. It comes down to people who genuinely care. Well, what sort of talent is this? Gallup did a study, and they said that the most valuable aspects of jobs now are the most essentially human tasks, things like sensing and judging and creating and relationship building. These are the things that get you the customers who really appreciate what you do. But this means that when good people leave a good company, they take that value with them. And where do they go? Well, typically they go to the competition. So, why? You could look at exit interviews, and you'll get information like, I'm leaving because of a better salary, or I've got some family issue, or I'm wanting to make a career change, or I see a lack of opportunity where I am, or I'm looking for more development. A woman, as part of her PhD program, did a study on the validity of exit interviews, and she discovered something really interesting. 96% of people don't tell the truth in their exit interviews. So why did they really leave a company? The answer comes down to one thing: management. People reach a point where their relationship with their manager can no longer be tolerated. And this isn't new research. The research has said for years that people leave managers, not companies, and we know that. So what's going on in this relationship between the subordinate and the manager? Well, very often the manager takes a nurturing parent role or a scolding parent role or an instructing parent role. When they do, that takes the subordinate and reduces them into the child role. Now, the motivational model like AIMS says that we don't stomach that too well because I is for identity. Identity is a very important motivator for us. It's how we want others to see us, and we work hard at creating a particular identity. So when we force somebody to play the child role too much, it will damage their adult identity. And at some point, something has to give. Now, some people leave companies, but when faced with this identity crisis, not everybody leaves the company. They'll go from highly engaged to somewhat engaged to unengaged to disengaged. And when that happens, that's going to cost you money. Because a highly engaged employee is worth 240% more than a somewhat engaged employee, and you've just lost that value. Towers Watson did a study comparing employee engagement with operating margin, and they discovered something interesting. Where employee engagement is high, the operating margin can be 3 times bigger than where it's low. So, if management is the problem, how do we deal with it? Well, there's some very successful companies that have dealt with it in a kind of an interesting way. Companies like Semco in Brazil, which has been doing this now for 35 years, or the Valve Corporation, a Washington-based video game company. Or the most famous example probably is Morningstar, a tomato processing company in California. In 20 years, they went from nothing to dominating their industry. And what do these 3 companies have in common? No managers. Now, you might say, oh, wait, that's way too radical for me. Hold your horses there. Now, we'd love to enjoy that extra margin. But is there some other way to do it? Is there some middle ground here? And the answer is yes, there is. And it's peer-to-peer accountability. Peer-to-peer accountability requires a couple of things. One, it requires that you take whatever group and really turn them into a team. Now, to do that, you need structure, you need a discipline around accountability, you also need to define behaviors, good and bad, and then you need to be active in your motivation around identity, meaning, and relationships. The model that we recommend is the Behavioral Advantage model. It consists of some simple, tried and true tools. It implements quickly. You'll see the results actually within days. Start with just one team, and then it's easy to roll out at your pace to the whole company, and it's guaranteed. Now, lots of CEOs will say something like, well, our margins are pretty good, right where they are. And if you're one of them, then take this 1-minute survey, and you'll find out if you're right or not. If you'd like to talk about it a little bit more, feel free to contact us. This is where you can download the survey. Thank you.